Support provided by the Chesapeake and Newport News with chef-centric farm-to-table dining. thechesapeake.org.
Hi friends, Jay Sennett. Welcome to another edition of Cooking with Jay here in La Jazz Kitchen. Hope all of you are doing well. Today I'm going to prepare for you a dish called Keema. K-H-E-E-M-A. It's also spelled Q-E-E-M-A. Keema. In the Indian culture, it's very, very popular in the Indian culture. And the literal translation of keema means minced or minced meat. And the meats that are traditionally used in making keema, ground goat. When I say minced, it's usually ground, okay? So goat, lamb, beef, all right? But they don't make it with turkey. Today, I'm going to make it with ground turkey. Keema with ground turkey. And there's going to be some starch in here, so I'm putting some diced up a russet potato or two, or 1.5. And we're going to serve it with forbidden rice. Ooh, as an extra layer of carbs in there. Forbidden rice, black rice, right? And I'll show you how I make this. So let's go over to the stove and get everything ready to cook this. I have some onions I diced up. Turn that heat back up. See, that's my forbidden rice. And all I did with that, I put some butter in a pan, okay, and just put a cup of rice in there and cook the rice in that butter just for a few minutes, stirring it around. I added a little bit of onion powder. Sometimes you can put onions in there if you like, but I didn't. I just used some onion powder, some salt. Then I'm cooking it in chicken broth, but you can use water. Okay. But also keep in mind the black rice texturally is different. If you've never had black rice before, it's kind of the texture of brown rice, right? Familiar with brown rice, and a lot of you are. So it kind of has that texture to it, but it cooks longer than white rice. All right, so it's going to be on the stove for about 35, 40 minutes. For regular rice, 15, 20 minutes. And so I diced up a little bit of onion in here. And what I'm going to add, there's a bunch of spices in keema, okay? I have a couple of, about 3 cloves of garlic, finely minced up garlic, and some ginger paste. I use ginger paste in here. Some ginger paste, and or you can mince up some ginger. That's fine. So onions, garlic, some ginger, fresh ginger, okay? Now before the onions and everything get totally cooked, I'm going to add about 1 pound of ground turkey. All right. Okay. And again, traditionally, keema is not made with turkey or fowl. They make it, Indian culture usually makes it with goat meat, ground lamb, or ground beef. Okay? Now that doesn't mean you can't make it, obviously, with another meat. I'm going to cook the turkey so it's almost done, breaking it up to, even though it's ground, you'll get clumps that will stick together. Now I want to season the meat. Some black pepper, healthy dose of black pepper, okay? There's going to be some seasoning in here. I'm going to put some sea salt in here as well. Okay. We're rolling, folks. So the only thing we have in here so far, some oil. I'm cooking it. I'm not using oil. I'm using butter. Okay, this is being cooked in butter. All right. So about 3 tablespoons of butter in here. We'll cook the onions, the garlic, the ginger, and the ground turkey. And again, you can use ground goat meat. You can find it here in the area. Or ground lamb, which you can find. Beef, obviously, you can find that. Personally, I don't eat a lot of red meat. Once in a blue moon, occasionally. Woo! All right, so the meat, want to break it up. When you put it in a pan, it's going to be in clumps, so you want to get, just break it up, even though it's ground. See, this rice right now has been cooking for about 20 minutes. And you can still see there's a lot of water in it. All right, and the ratio, cup of rice, 2 cups of water, or 2 cups, in my case, chicken broth. Use some chicken broth. All right, this is cooking beautifully. All right, I'm breaking that turkey up. All right, we're almost ready to start adding the spices, the rest of the spices. And I'm going to do that. Okay. All right, so some garam masala, about teaspoon and a half, or maybe a tablespoon, since it's an Indian dish. All right, that's 1 down. All right, we have some coriander, about a teaspoon of coriander. It's 2 down. We have about a teaspoon of cumin. I have some roasted cumin. Okay. Make sure that was enough. Put a little bit more of the cumin in here. There we go. All right, so we have garam masala, coriander, cumin. We're going to put about a teaspoon of turmeric in here. All right. So there's some turmeric. Again, we're staying Indian. And we're going to put about a teaspoon, a small teaspoon of cinnamon in here as well. And we're going to add some chili powder. Okay, about a half a teaspoon to a small teaspoon of chili powder. All right. Ooh. Okay. Wow, I'm just dropping everything. Okay. And I want to add, these are small bay leaves. So, okay, there we go. Add some bay leaves. You got 1 good sized bay leaf in there. That's good. All right, so we want to add about a half a cup of chicken broth or water to a cup. Then I want to add about half a cup of tomato sauce to a cup. All right. I want to add some more salt. And a little bit more black pepper. Oh yeah. And the smells, ladies and gentlemen, we'll turn this fire down just a little bit. Stir around well. Obviously, changes colors. Put that turmeric in here. And the tomato sauce. Now, in Indian culture, they use the minced meat concept in several of their dishes. Keema is just, like I said, translated to mean minced meat. All right? Minced meat. Okay. Now, one more thing to add to that. I'm going to put some potatoes in here. All right. And some cilantro. All right, I'll leave some out for garnishing, but I want some to cook in there as well. My interpretation of some keema with turkey meat, ground turkey. Oops. The smell is amazing, folks. It's truly amazing. And you know what I'm going to do? Because these potatoes are in there, I'm going to add a little bit more liquid. Add a little bit more of this broth. All right, and a little bit more of the tomato sauce. I like the way that's drying up like that. But that should do it. Mix it around again. And then what we're going to do, we're going to cover it up. And we're going to let it cook so those potatoes can get cooked in here. And these flavors can get settled and merge beautifully. See how the black rice is doing. It's just starting to get there. Almost done with the forbidden rice. I'm going to add a little bit of cinnamon to that when that's done. Let me get a lid. La, la, la. Turn the fire down a little bit. Let's see what that is. Yeah. Cover that up. Let those potatoes cook on a low heat. And well, there's a lot of spices in here. We gonna let this cook in 20-25 minutes so these potatoes can get cooked and these flavors can merge. I'm making keema. You know, in Indian culture, it's minced meat. It's a minced meat dish, and they use it in different dishes. The concept. I'm using turkey today, which the Indians don't traditionally use in their food. But I thought it was an interesting twist on that. You can use ground chicken. You don't have to use beef, lamb, or goat. And then we're going to come back, all right, and see what we have after about 25 minutes. So it's one of these breaks where the magic of editing will only make it seem like a split second. You'll see me walk back in here into this screen. All right, stay with us. Okay, well, through the magic of editing, it only seemed like a split second, but about 25 minutes went by. So let's go over here to the stove and let's see what we have. Our keema is now complete. Look at that. Oh man. Let's make a plate. I'm going to avoid these bay leaves. And I'll tell you again what I did. Let me get a spoon out of here for the forbidden rice. Now you can make this a lot messier than what I'm making it right now. Let's go back over here to the counter. Throw a little cilantro on top of that. Okay. That's my keema, ladies and gentlemen, with my forbidden rice, black rice. Okay. Very quickly, let's run through this one more time. What I did, got some butter. Okay, melted some butter, three tablespoons of butter, saucepan, chopped up some onions, sauteed some onions until they were just becoming translucent, added some crushed ginger. Actually, I use ginger paste, but you can use grated ginger in there, and some garlic, about 3-4 cloves of finely minced up garlic. Cook that for just a couple of minutes, a few minutes, maybe 3 to 4 or 5 minutes, but don't overcook your onions, okay? Then I add about a pound of ground turkey. Now, as I said earlier in the beginning, traditional keema in Indian culture is usually made with ground goat, ground lamb, or ground beef. I made it with ground turkey. Okay, so ground turkey in there. I season the meat, some salt and pepper. Break up the chunks, make sure it's pretty dispersed. Get a clump away from the clumps. Then you start adding all these spices, all these delicious spices. About a teaspoon of cumin, roasted cumin, teaspoon of coriander, about a teaspoon of turmeric, a small teaspoon of cinnamon, about a teaspoon and a half, maybe almost a tablespoon of garam masala, okay, and about a small teaspoon of chili powder, okay, and then some salt and pepper. I added in there as well, and a couple of bay leaves. I put about a cup and a half of tomato sauce. I added about a cup and a half, maybe 2 cups of chicken broth in there as well. Then I diced up a russet potato. It was a pretty large russet potato. Diced it up. And once the meat was cooked and everything, I added the potatoes in there. Then I added tomato sauce and the liquid, the broth. Add a little bit more salt and pepper. And while it was cooking, I added, 15, 20 minutes in, well, right early on I added some cilantro in there, but 15, 20 minutes into the cooking, I added more cilantro, and I diced up a little bit of red bell pepper, okay? And I put the bell pepper in there as well. And then let it cook until the potatoes are nice and tender, not too mushy, just perfect, el dente, right? So that's my dish for tonight. Keema, the traditional Indian concept dish, and I made it with ground turkey, and that's what's happening. So I'm going to eat my dinner. Cooking with Jay airs Sundays starting at 6 p.m. on the WHO Public Media Facebook page. Thank you all for watching the show. Don't forget, of course, my Send It In Session Jazz Show, WHRV-FM 89.5, Monday through Thursday nights, 9 to 1, Saturday mornings, 1 until 5, Sunday afternoons from 1 until 5. I also host the very soulful R&B Chronicles Friday nights from 7 until 8. If you like classic soul music, check out the Chronicles. I also like to thank the Chesapeake for your fantastic support for Cooking with Jay. If you have a business and you might want to do some underwriting for Cooking with Jay, contact WHO and speak with Diane Rojic. She will tell you how you can go through that process. It's very easy, but would love for you to come on in and underwrite the program, Cooking with Jay, Sunday evenings, and archive shows on the WHO Public Media YouTube channel. All right, I'm going to go eat and enjoy this Keema. Be safe out there, friends, and we'll see you again soon with another edition of Cooking with Jay. Take care.
Support provided by the Chesapeake in Newport News, catering to the palate of every single resident. More at thechesapeake.org.